Hey, it's Jeff bringing a new YouTube series for a Guess to Move, one of the most important training methods that you can do because you get immediate feedback on every move. So unlike in a normal game where your opponent might not punish your mistakes and you might not see exactly how to maximize the advantage that you do build up, this kind of really opens your eyes to a lot of the moves and ideas that top grandmasters are doing, because you're forcing yourself to think as if it was a long time control game, and just getting that feedback is some of the best there is. And so the rules I kind of set for myself when doing this is, I guess, starting from the winner's 11th move. And this first game is the one that John actually went over, a Carlsen game, and I only saw the first minute of him talking about it before he started, and he had mentioned that he kind of skips over the opening because there's a lot of theoretical stuff, and that's kind of the same reason that I don't start from the very first move, because you can just memorize a lot of theory and just know beforehand, especially if you know that a certain player likes to go into a certain line. And I keep my own stats on how well I'm doing so I could mark improvement, and so just going over the first theoretical moves doesn't really make sense for me, but for some people they might want to try guessing on those first moves. So it's really up to you how you want to do it, but there's a few people that do recommend not caring too much about guessing in the opening. And I personally spend 1 minute per move when guessing, because it's similar to when I play a USCF tournament. That's about how I kind of budget my time on average. I'm not really focused on calculation and tactics as much. I'll try to see what I can see in 1 minute, but usually you get to a tactical situation, you can spend more time if you want, and that's some other people that talk about this method. They recommend, if you want to focus on calculation, play until the position gets complicated, then set a timer and think for longer. But for me, I'm focusing on positional play, so I'll just keep it relatively short, kind of like a rapid game. I'm really just focusing on improving my evaluation and planning skills and stuff like that. And I care about finding annotated sources, so either video or a book, so that after I guess the move, I can compare my thoughts versus the master's thoughts. And for me, I'm going to be comparing my thoughts to John's thoughts, since I haven't watched his video going over this game, and I've known about it. Like, I've seen when the video was first uploaded, and I've just put this off so long, so yeah, that's how it's going to be. And then the average game is 40 moves, so if you use all your time and you're doing 1 minute per move when guessing, it'll be about 30 minutes per game. So that's about how long you can expect to take on a certain exercise. Now, if the game is like 70 moves long, then yeah, it's going to take a little longer, but that's kind of the average. And this is kind of like the old stats that I did before. Sorry, I'm taking a while before I get to the game, but first episode, so you have to deal with it, I guess. And you can also skip to when I start. But this is for people that might be interested in some of the background in my training, since this is like a log of my daily training. Well, I don't do it daily, but ideally I would do it daily. This is just a log of my training. And so I've only done this like a few times, even over the last years. So I haven't done as much as I would like. But this is kind of how I had it set up. I would have like the game length over here, and then I would put how many moves I missed. And I have a formula that calculates the percentage correct after move 10. If you want to do, if you want to start guessing from the whole game, you could remove the minus 10 right here. I'll probably make another video explaining this and setting it up and sharing a link to this doc, so you can use this as a reference if you want to do this yourself. But you can see that in the first game that I did, I guess 38%, and then every other one I did at least 50. So the idea is to see if I keep doing this long term and getting better, like how good could I get. And also I'm really curious to see what stronger players do. So John is an international master. Like, he should probably do like a lot better than me, but I don't know how much better would he do. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. So I will try to calculate his numbers and also compare them to mine and think about this. But now we don't really need this one anymore. Just want to show you kind of what it looks like when you've started doing stuff. So here is like a blank one. It says 100, but if we put like 40 and missed 20, it's not going to be 50 because we're starting from after move 10. So it would be more like, if we want to get 50, we would have to put 15 here, I think. Yeah, so I'll re-go over this again in the other video, but we just put like how long the game was here, how many moves you missed after move 10 if you're following my formula, and that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and now it's time to get started. And so yeah, so this was a game Magnus Carlsen versus Tomashevsky in Tata Steel 2016. And so I'll get my timer out. Probably be getting a lot of moves wrong. I don't even know if I'll hit 50% guessed. I will say sometimes you'll get higher percentages if there's a game with a lot of forced easy captures. You know, if you just guess right on how to capture, like say there's 2 ways to recapture, you can get a lot of correct moves just from that. But over time you should see a trend in, are you like constantly getting 50%, constantly getting 60%, 70%. So yeah, so it's all about trying to improve. Oh yeah, I don't need to do anything yet since we're going to move 11. Now to keep in mind, it's like a queen. I have it written down somewhere because I can't see the move notations. I do this to hide it. So queen e2 is supposed to be white's 10th move, so the move after that we'll start guessing. So do know that this was like a London game, and I don't know much about opening. I'm actually going to be learning the London, but I don't know much about opening theory, so I'm not going to pretend and try to teach what's going on for these moves. And even after that, I'm just giving like my thoughts and how I would play. So even if I get the move right, it might be for wrong reasons, so just keep that in mind, because I'm not a super strong player. So this was a queen e2 move, and so now this is black's move, so next move will be white's 10th move. So let's set a timer, and after a minute we will pick a move. So this is kind of the first decision we have to make. I feel like I've seen stuff where they'll put the bishop back. I don't know if we care about having this like doubled pawns like that. It would open up the e file for us a little bit. Also, knight e5 is like a typical move I might play just without thinking. Wow, this is almost a minute already. I was gonna say these kind of ideas, but this would hang the bishop. But I am looking at, would we go for this kind of pawn break at some point? And we should eventually move our rooks somewhere. So yeah, so okay. I'm going to guess taking the bishop. Okay, that was wrong. So they just went rook e1. Okay. So that tells me that he didn't mind them taking on f4, which is interesting and good to know. Now, they moved knight e7. I don't know if that means they're trying to go knight f5. They could also be trying to go to g6, but I think knight f5 might be... Maybe they don't care if we trade and try to double their pawns. Well, they would be getting the bishop off for a knight, and 2, it might be similar to why Magnus didn't care about them trading and getting the pawn like that. But they did remove one defender of e5. I would probably like to put a knight here now, because if they did trade, I would be getting the bishop pair, and this other knight could probably go to f3. So I'm probably gonna guess this. And yeah, it's time to guess. Okay, wrong again. Okay, he's just developing his rooks. Okay, and then I actually went to g6. Well, now I feel like we do have to do something about the bishop, because they've got two pieces, we just got one defender, so they would win a pawn if we do nothing about it. So do we trade, or do we try to move this somewhere else? I'm probably gonna go for trading. Could also go here and try to pin this knight, but it probably doesn't really. I actually kind of like this, but I also feel like I would play my gut instinct and just take the bishop. Let's see, if we go here, they could also just move back. I don't know, I'm probably just gonna play this. Okay, not that. Okay, just takes that knight. Okay, don't think I've gotten a right move yet. So he removes that knight, and yeah, I really don't understand this position or what the plan is for white. And that's why I do this exercise, because maybe it's something very obvious when you know a few things about the London, like what exchanges typically happen and stuff like that. But personally, this is the time where I'm looking at these like pawn moves. This one probably isn't as good right now. I just get a better pawn center. I feel like this move could be kind of typical in some situations, but I don't think it's the right time for that kind of idea yet. This queen can jump in at some point, maybe. But again, I'd probably just play this. So yeah, I'll do this. Nope. Okay. So that's when he took. Okay, I still want to play knight e5. What else would there be though? Okay, it's not really a tactical situation, so from like Grandmaster preparation, positional play, or whatever it's called, there's like 3 questions you can ask in these kind of quiet positions there. What are the weaknesses? What's your worst place piece? And what's the opponent's plan? And I feel like the opponent, they might want to put a knight here at some point. But we have a knight here. It seems like our pieces are fairly well placed. I wonder if that move kind of also discourages the knight from going there a little bit. Maybe not, but it might. So I'm looking at this or this. And I'm gonna go with this one to kind of block off the queen from this diagonal a little bit. Although I don't think the queen is really threatening anything. Okay, so that was the right move. Got our first one. So black played g5. So what does black want to do? Why did they play that? I do feel like a move like this knight here trying to attack that pawn, then they would have this, and we don't really have a easy way of dealing with the knight. But a move like f3 kind of blocks in our knights from ever coming back to f3, and it might be weakening. Although I wonder if knight f1 and knight g3 could be a plan. Yeah, I don't know how to deal with this move when I want to go here, so I'm tempted not to play knight f3. But I don't know how to make progress for white. Alright, it's time to guess. I'm going to guess f3. Nope. It was f4. I was gonna say something about f4 because I didn't. It just looked wrong to me. And so this would be one of the moments that I think would be super instructive for me to look back on, especially if I find a good reason for it, because it really just looked like it was opening up the white king a lot, and it was a move that I feel like I would have played in bullet, but I would have been hesitant to play it in a long time control game. Alright, so there's a capture that we can recapture, so this might be a easy move for our stats. Just e takes f4, the only recapture of that pawn we have. So we'll just play it immediately. Okay, it was not that. I wonder if that was... Okay, it was not. Magnus tricked us. Or he tricked me at least. I don't know if he tricked you guys. I wonder if he tricked John here. But... Oh, and I guess I see. So if this takes... Well, then he's still attacking stuff, but I was seeing that rook takes here would open up the king a lot. But they don't take on e3. Now, if we were to take the f-pawn with the rook, then knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes, gets them a pawn. So I still really want to play this. So if they take that, and then the queen has to move out the way, and we have like some resources that we can get to the king side. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Okay, pause. See if I can not look at the moves while I delete that move. Queen f3, delete. Okay, I didn't spoil myself. The move showed on the screen for you guys, but I used my hand to block. So I wasn't trying to go here. I was most likely about to take here. I was going to see, is there anything, like, we could also consider, let's get the timer back. Oh, that just removes it. Okay, so we could also take here. But then I wonder if this becomes, would not probably go there just to ruin the structure a little bit. But we could take, pawn takes, rook takes. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. And if we take here, they can... That might not be good for them, though. Okay, I'm gonna go this one. Okay, now. Alright, so they went queen h5 and then knight f6. So attacking the queen. So yeah, these f4 pawn recapture ideas is really what's getting me this game. I'm not understanding the flow of it, I guess. Okay, and this is why I said don't take my advice when I'm trying to explain moves. Unless it's the right move, maybe. But even then, be careful. But the thing is, if there's like players that are weaker than me, they could learn some stuff from my thought process. But this is why I do recommend finding a good book or video from like a really strong player that you could then check the analysis with after. So, okay, spent my time not even looking at the position, but Queen G5 is just a natural move I'm looking at. And then, because if the F pawn takes, this would be pinning them. They could still take that, but maybe the complications will still end up okay for us. If we go here and they go here, we take. They could be threatening this with a fork. Yeah, I'm still gonna play Queen G5. Nope. Didn't even see Queen H4. I do like that better because with Queen G5, Knight E4 is attacking the Queen. But here, if they went Knight E4 instead of Queen D1, D8, we could still recapture the pawn. And if they take on D2, we could take back on D2 with the rook. So yeah, Queen H4 makes a lot of sense. And now I feel like it's time to take the pawn, but how? Now we have three choices. I'm gonna take with the rook because, again, if the knight comes here, we have more pieces that's eyeing that square, although it doesn't really win material because that bishop is there. But it does help with us doing stuff against the king, and maybe in some cases we might take the knight. So that was the right move. And then white played Knight E4. So yeah, so here I was saying, so if knight takes E4, pawn takes, we wouldn't take with the rook because bishop would win exchange. And also now they are, the queens are looking at each other. So we have to decide, probably not trading queens, probably keeping the game more complicated. And so the only moves that really, so E1 would just be a complete retreat. I try to look for more active things than that. This would run into, what would it run into? Not much right now, but I don't like it as much because the rook is kind of limited on this rank. So I kind of want to play this with the idea of this against the king. But with this, they do have that. Then maybe we go here. I don't know. I'm gonna go here though. It was not the move. It was just take. I forgot you could just do that. But maybe. Oh yeah, because I wasn't sure if you want to trade queens. That's not why I didn't consider that more. And now, yeah, we just take. Okay. What is going on? Is the material still even? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, but this pawn could be. They might be trying to go here at some point, which would make this pawn weak. But I don't see a good way to attack it. Now I wonder if, because f5 might be a move that they play at some point. Oh, this would like kind of trap our rook in. Could do something like this and then go for that. I don't really see much going on if we do that. They would just move out the way. Could try to activate this rook a little bit. I think I'll do that. I'll activate this rook. Well, if we do that, and then this. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh no, I gotta try to delete. Okay. I have to be careful with that. And then, like, I want to fix immediately because when I count up the wrong moves, that might get mixed in, which I'll probably still get it wrong anyway. But yeah. Actually, take this. Well, then they could just go there. But it is kind of interesting. I'm gonna go for this. It was that. And my idea was to go here. And the main reason I did that was because I thought it would weaken their structure a little bit, because now this pawn is weak. It can't be defended by another pawn, it's isolated. And we have like more pawns on this side of the board. We do create, like, we leave this pawn isolated, but I feel like it kind of just balanced out a little bit. But the question is, if we go here and they go there, well, then maybe we can even go here and add more pressure to the pawn. So yeah, I like this. Okay, it was not the move. Okay, so it was my first idea of, like, taking and then moving the rook there that I kind of forgot about. Now, oh, I was gonna say, oh, go attack the pawn, but the pawn would this pawn would take. But now, if this rook wasn't here, we could be threatening that. But we don't have a good threat with the rook right now, I don't think. We do have two pieces on this, well, two defending, but this would add more pressure there. So I think I like that. Nope. I'm gonna guess this is move like fixing this weakness here so they can't like push that. Okay. I wonder if this to attack that. So knight c4. I guess they could push a4. It might still be okay for us though. My first move when I saw a5 was to play a4 myself, but I think they moved the bishop and then they're attacking this pawn. But I'll just try attacking this pawn. Nope. Okay, so he did this. Oh, so that was the threat you can make with the rook to also threaten that. Okay. So with this, I guess the idea is they can go here, and then if knight takes that rook, then the rook takes a rook. So he's not scared of knight d7. I think this might be a decent capture though. And if that takes, this takes, and if they try to attack, like moving the bishop somewhere, we might be able to push the pawn. Okay, no, it was just that. Well, now I want to take this pawn. Still no. He pushes the pawn. And how long is this game? I feel like it's got to be over soon. I think it was like supposed to be 30 moves or something. Actually, I could check how long I've been. Okay. Now the rook is attacked. Okay, at this point, well, it's either taking the rook or taking the pawn, I believe. So if we take the rook, bishop takes. So rook takes b7. Bishop takes. Knight here. I feel like that could lead to something, but I also feel like I just want to take this. Okay, I'll give up on taking the pawn. Okay, no. So it was taking the pawn, of course. Now, what do we do? Kind of looking at knight c6. It doesn't threaten mate because the rook is here, but it does threaten that rook. And if this knight here would win material and maybe checkmate, if that's right. And if there, maybe it doesn't work. Yeah, because then there takes, we don't really have those threats anymore. But if we do something with this knight and this, but we wouldn't have time for that, they would just move a pawn. I wonder if this and... No, I just really don't know at all what we're trying to do. Activate the king as endgame? I don't know. Okay, I want to play this. No, it doesn't work. Okay, I'll just play this then. Or I could... No, I'll play this. If anything, we could maybe attack some pawns. Okay, no, wait. Did I mess up? Or was that the last move? Can't tell. That is the last, wait, knight c4. Oh, maybe that was the last move and it was right. I'm confused. I gotta find the game. Okay, so here's the game. Okay, last move was knight c4. So we got that one right. Okay, so that was tough. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 missed. And the game length was 30. Wow, okay. So 25% of the moves. So hopefully John did a lot better than me. A lot of those, some of them I did see the idea of, and some of them Like I really wasn't sure what to do about the this tension for a long time. Let's see. And these f4 stuff, like I kept wanting to take the pawn at different times. And so yeah, I'm not going to look into it too much right now. So I'll watch John's video, then maybe look at the game with an engine and create some notes for myself so I can figure out how, like, what was my most critical mistakes out of these. It seems like a lot of the game I just didn't understand. So much different than, well, I deleted the other stuff, but much different than the games where I was getting 50% or more correct. So this one's 25. So the worst one that I've done where I've like recorded the moves. So yeah, so that was guess the move training. Definitely be doing more of these, and as I do more and train over time, hopefully I'll get a lot better, and then I'll also be better at explaining the ideas behind moves. But just giving you an idea of how you can train and do this stuff for yourself. And don't feel bad if you like even do like worse than me, like guess none of the moves or anything. You'll definitely get some of the moves. But it shows it's a learning process, and yeah. So yeah, it should be cool. See you in the next one.